Welcome to the new week. We have a Mercury oracle planet all week. That's the planet that rises up before the sun. It's Mercury for this whole week. Hi, Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thank you for being here. It's June 19th, Monday. Solstice this week, obviously on the 21st, as the sun moves into Cancer. Now, I don't script these episodes out, but I'm just kind of feeling that we might walk on some edgy ground for some before this podcast is over. So that might either keep you here or you might punch out now. I don't know. What's the curiosity factor? No, there are some things rumbling, and I tread on this ground lightly, but we might go there today. We'll see. Let's see how we get there. First of all, we have to talk about what's up over our heads today. Well, really, we have to talk about what happened over the weekend. Saturn went retrograde, right? So it's at 7 degrees Pisces, now going backwards. Will it get back into Aquarius before November 4th when it turns direct again? And by the way, all the retrograde calendar dates are on the funastrology.com website at the top. Barely. It gets to 0 degrees Pisces. So it stays in Pisces, but it does go back to the cusp. So let's just say that a slow walk between now and November 4th of Saturn getting stronger every day. So if some wonk started to happen to you over the weekend, there's a piece of it. Then on Sunday, the sun squared Neptune. This kind of ties into what I might talk about later, because what that to me discusses is the potential for lies and deception, the potential for being fooled. Now, we're in the waxing part. We're behind that direct aspect, but the other piece of this is that there could just be a little bit of a shaking to your spiritual foundation. Maybe some tension, maybe a pull, maybe something you have to work through. But that's kind of the idea here. And yeah, we'll be in it for another couple of days. We were in it for the days prior to, but the strongest of it would have been over the weekend. But that's just one of these little energetic pegs that I think it's good to keep in mind for the next several days. Now, the moon, interestingly, enters Leo tomorrow. Why would you say that's interestingly? Well, because of who's there waiting for it. Leo. Could Leo be the hottest of the fire signs because it's ruled by the sun and because Mars is in there now? That's a lot of heat, and that's a lot of heat for poor Venus to be sitting under. Because, you know, Venus, there's only one kind of hot that Venus likes, and this ain't it. They are 5 degrees apart right now, Venus and Mars. Venus is at 12 degrees Leo, Mars is at 17 degrees, and they dance on this conjunction line all the way through the rest of this month and July before they finally separate to 10 degrees, where we would no longer say that they're conjunct. But this is a really tight aspect between these two planets. Tomorrow, the moon moves right in there, so within 2 days, we'll cross right over it. And of course, we have solstice on Wednesday, and we'll develop all of this as the week unfolds. One other significant aspect just to point out is that on Friday, the sun will sextile the north node of the moon. So that puts it halfway in between the moon wobble alignment. Right now, I'm going to say that's a good thing. That's one in the positive column. The sun is in a favorable sextile to the north node, puts it in a trine with the south node. So that's what we have going on right now. Saturn in retrograde, very strong, applying energy to the Wednesday morning in the Eastern time zone at just shy of 11 o'clock, summer solstice. Cancer solstice, June solstice, whichever term you want to use for it. And then today at 11:53 a.m., Jupiter sextiling that Saturn. Jupiter in Taurus and Saturn, of course, in Pisces at 7 degrees is that sextile. So that means whatever Saturn is up to as it stations and starts to go backwards, a powerful time for Saturn, that Jupiter is just magnifying it. It's exaggerating it. It's making it more powerful than it already is. So there's a lot of Saturn right now in the chart. Now, some of you may want to jump off, but let me ask a rhetorical question that nobody can answer. Why are we seeing military tanks in downtown areas of U.S. cities and on L.A. freeways? I'm sorry, but there are too many of these images to ignore. And why are selective internet and power blackouts happening in multiple places across the country, including what I heard one a couple of weeks ago, even in Aspen, Colorado? That whole Roaring Fork area, Aspen, Glenwood, all the way to Grand Junction, was out of internet and out of power. In fact, it was reported yesterday that here in North Carolina there were places of no internet. No storms, just no internet. Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, I'd be jumping all over that one. But why is it in Pisces acting like that? And what's the modern ruler of Pisces? Neptune. And what's the ancient ruler of Pisces? Jupiter. So both are at play. Yesterday, the sun was square Neptune. We talked about that challenge. Today, Jupiter is trining Saturn. So there's just this tie of the ruling planets having certain aspects, this whole thing. I'm just saying it's just weird. And please don't shoot the messenger. If you made it this far, it's just knowledge. Just be aware, be alert, be aware. I don't see anything in the chart. I mean, if I were to say that something was going to happen, it would have been under that big grand cross. But all of those legs are broken off except the Pluto to the nodes, which is going to be with us for a long time. So I don't know, guys. I'm just pointing it out. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk about Leo, focus spotlight there, and also the solstice. Have a great day.